I felt like I was getting there. My body was getting, filled out. It was getting bigger, quicker, faster. Everything started to kind of click a little bit. And I was just like, this is something that I'm going to continue to work at and continue to grow at. Senior year comes around, I'm going to be ready to roll and hopefully get, some offers and choose from there. And then my senior year just never came.
Growing up in the small town of Paso Robles, California, Braden Watermen's sights were always set on bigger things, and it didn't take long to realize football was the path.
My dad grew up being a receiver, and he was always telling me, you need to be a receiver, you're tall. I was like, nah, I want to be a quarterback, and it kind of went from there.
Braden excelled under center and quickly caught the eye of college programs across the country. But halfway through his junior season in 2019, his priorities changed.
I started getting night sweats, just soak my bed, and I'd get probably 1 or 2 fevers a day. And then it just kind of started going downhill. Started losing weight, just super, super fatigued. Didn't really have motivation to do really anything. I went and saw a bunch of doctors. They did a bunch of blood tests, and that's kind of when everything changed.
When they took us to the room that they were checking him into, they put us in the oncology ward. Probably not a good sign. You're leading down to that tunnel that feels black, and it feels like we're going into uncharted territory.
On New Year's Day of 2020, Braden received the news. It was stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma, requiring immediate surgery and chemotherapy.
Right before they put me in surgery, I was like, Mom, am I going to die? And she just started crying like, no, you're not going to die, you're not going to die. And I was like, dude, what if I don't wake up from this, This quite possibly could be the end.
After a successful surgery and 4 rounds of chemo, the cancer was in remission by April. His fear turned to hope of once again returning to the football field.
We had to bring a football everywhere we went. That was Braden. He'd sleep with it. He always had a football with him. The desire and the want to get back on a football field, right? That's what kept him going.
When you finish chemo, you have to retrain your whole body how to move again. We're standing 5 yards apart, and I literally couldn't even throw the ball. The doctors told me it's going to take a year for you to even be back to normal, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be back in 5 months, 4 months.
More determined than ever, Braden regained his strength, and by October 2020, he was ready for action, until a routine follow-up scan indicated the cancer had returned.
He had worked so hard in those few short months to train, to eat. He was doing protein shakes to gain weight back. Every day he was training. To be told, we got to start over. He was just broken at that moment.
I kind of already knew that, if this came back again, I wouldn't do chemo again. I would beat this thing without chemo.
Seeking alternative treatments, Braden decided to attack with a more holistic approach, focusing on a healthier diet and lifestyle, along with a renewed faith.
To really get in touch with the Lord and kind of being in tune with Him was the thing that kind of settled me down and really got me through.
Some of the things that he did with his diet and his emotional health, it made sense. He's very disciplined in what he does.
I didn't realize how controversial this decision was going to be because we got a lot of backlash from other people. He says, I want to build my body up instead of breaking it down with the chemo. It was a very interesting turning point for us as a family.
As he managed the cancer, his new approach had him feeling healthy and strong, and he returned to the field in the fall of 2021. He threw for over 3,000 yards and 41 touchdowns on the way to winning league MVP. Despite the remarkable season, Braden had no college offers.
That was really hard for him. He was like, I'm done with my senior season, and I'm talking to a handful of coaches, but nothing is happening.
It kind of took a toll in just trying to find, home, just kind of waiting and praying that there was a home for me.
After months of uncertainty, Braden got the call he'd been waiting for. The University of Mississippi had a walk-on spot for him.
We watched his tape, really liked the things that he could do on the field. Just really wanted to get to know him, and so we reached out to him, got him to come down for a visit, and just loved his mindset and attitude.
So when that phone call came, it wasn't like, I don't know. It was like, yeah, let's go, because I know I can play at that level.
I love everything about this place, man. It feels like home. Right now, I've just been taking everything in, the walk and being in the stadium, and that's just like so surreal for me. If you would have told me that I was going to be here and telling my story, I would have been like, you're crazy. It's so much more than football, it's about inspiring people that you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
As Braden's journey continues on and off the field, his fight for life has given him a fresh perspective.
You're not guaranteed tomorrow, next week, the week after. I got to make the most of right now, cherishing every single second that you have on this earth.